Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Aynesworth here, and we are going to get into Mastery 6 where we graph sine, cosine, and tangent. You already know how to graph sine and cosine, so that's review. Obviously, the new one is tangent that you want to get good at. Okay, so we want to try to do this in under 4 minutes with 100% accuracy, and we have to also follow the directions in red. So we got two things that we have to do. Axes must be labeled properly in radians. At least 5 points must be plotted. This is for sine and cosine. So sine and cosine of x right here, and then 3 points for tangent. Okay. Also in asymptotes. So and asymptotes, because this function's undefined at certain places. Okay. And then we want to figure out where on the intervals where the function's increasing or decreasing. So, okay, here we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and scale the axes. So you can do this different ways. So I'm just doing it one way here. The period for sine is 2 pi. It's defined on a set of reals, and it has a max and a min from -1 to 1. All right, you always go from min and to max when you define the range. Okay, and so sine starts at 0. Sine is 0, 0, and then you have to label the axes here. So actually, let me do this in red. So this is pi, and this is pi halves, and this is 3 halves pi. Okay, there we go. And then you start your graphing. So 0, pi halves comma 1, pi comma 0, 3 halves comma -1, and then back to the axis. Okay, so here we go. You want to curve it. They're not semicircles, but pretty close. All right, so there you go. And then you want to also determine where it's increasing and decreasing. So from 0 to pi halves, so increasing on 0 to pi halves. Okay, and also from 3 half pi's to 2 pi. So 3 pi halves to 2 pi is decreasing in between. So from pi halves to 3 halves pi. So 3 halves pi to, excuse me, back up, Aynesworth, too fast. From pi halves to 3 halves pi. Ooh. So pi halves to 3 pi halves. There we go. Okay, and now on to cosine. So here we go. You got to scale the axes again. Okay, show me where 2 pi is. You can do this different ways. You can go out 4 units. I went out 8 just to stretch it out, but you don't have to. You can just go out 4 units and do the same thing. All right, but you have to label because that tells me that you know what's going on. Anything that's not labeled is not going to be graded well at all. Okay, now the domain for cosine is all reals. It has a period of 2 pi, and it also has the same min and max. Okay, we already know that. But this time cosine of 0 is 1, so it starts either at the amplitude. Cosine of pi halves is 0, and then cosine of pi is -1, cosine of 3 pi is 0, cosine of 2 pi is 1, and then you curve it. Okay, put the sound effects in. So there's cosine of x. Okay, up at the top is sine of x. Now cosine is decreasing from 0 to pi. So it's decreasing from 0 to pi. It's increasing from pi to 2 pi. Okie dokie. Now on to tangent. Okay, so here we go. So tangent is not defined on the set of reals, so the domain here for tangent, okay, remember x cannot equal to -pi halves, all right, pi halves, and then 3 pi halves, okay, and here the period is pi, okay, the period is pi. So with one way you can write it is x is not equal to, all right, pi halves plus multiples of the period, which is k pi, all right. And there you go. And then so you got to draw your asymptotes here. So draw an asymptote at -pi halves. So you plot. Draw your asymptotes. So it's a vertical asymptote. I'm going to graph one period only. Okay, so that was the domain right there. If you want to draw another period, you can, but you don't have to. Okay, that would be at 3 pi halves. And now you, the range, okay, the range is different. The range is infinite. All right, no restrictions, all reals. And then you want to plot 3 points. So plot 3 points. All right, so you have to label where 1 is. So let's say 1's here and -1's here. So here we go, pi force, comma -1, 0, 0, and then pi force, this is pi force right here. All right, and then you sketch it. Curve it. Like that. Okay? That's what it would look like if you put 1 2 units up, or 2 grid lines up. If you want to put 1 at the first grid line, that's fine. You can do that as well, and it would just look slightly different, but again, it depends on how you scale the graph. So labeling is important. The axes must be labeled. So axes must, all right, be labeled for you guys to get a perfect score. Okay, very important. All instructors will expect that. All right, and I know it took more than 4 minutes here because I'm explaining things. Okay, I don't go at my speed. I'm going at explaining speed. All right. In fact, you know what? For 3 graphs, I might even change this time limit to 6. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to change that to 6 just to give people a little bit more time. So less than or equal to 6 minutes here. So change that. All right. That's how it's done, you guys. That's your next mastery. Practice, and I'll see you in class.